Hello, friends, and welcome back to Malicious Compliance Stories. Today's story starts with a simple parking lot mistake and a handshake agreement that seemed fair to everyone involved. Months later, it turns into a courtroom drama that proves some people don't understand contracts or consequences. But before we begin, best way to support our channel is to leave comments, like, and subscribe with the turned on bell so you don't miss the new video every single day. Here we go. He took my $2,500 cash after a minor accident, then sued me for $10,000. Okay, buckle up. The story involves a fender bender, a suspicious guy, and my best court date. Some background about myself is necessary for the story. I'm 22 and a construction foreman. As a legal summer job, I've been swinging hammers and running wire since I was 14. It gave me a head start. My paycheck reflects my experience running many crews and earning my stripes. A mountain goat with a V8 is needed to push a 20-foot trailer full of lumber through mud soup on a February project. I drive an upgraded F-350. My beast. My tool is paid for. Now the tale. 4 months ago, I left work after pouring concrete footings. I was exhausted, my back hurt, and starting the stove made me cry. Solution? The Golden Arches. 2 Big Macs, enormous fries, and a gas can-sized sweet tea were my typical McDonald's purchases, and I got back in my truck. The parking lot is usually a spectacle. People cutting through, waiting for curbside, and youths loitering at the main road shopping plaza intersection. In the drive-through lane that exits near the exit, glancing hard left, I crane my neck to detect a space in the continuous stream of traffic, inching my large truck forward without glancing in front of me. Big error. The guy in the beat-up early 2000s Honda Accord in front of me halted, likely looking for an opening. A terrible metal-on-metal screeched from my front left corner to his passenger side mirror and door. My heart fell into my boots. Idiot. I immediately reversing foot and jumping out. Another driver, possibly in his late 40s, was exiting in a generic polo shirt with a faded firm insignia. He seemed more angered than offended. "Hey man, I'm so sorry," I said, hands up. "It was all my fault. You okay?" Asked me to call the police. He saw a long, horrible scratch along the door and his mirror folded in. He sighed, "Nah, bro, we're okay. The lot's private, but if you give me your insurance info, we can handle this without much hassle." It relieved me. Calling the police for a parking lot tap is annoying. Brent seemed surprisingly calm as we shared facts. I made him an offer because my truck barely had a bumper trim scuff and I didn't want my insurance to rise. "Brent, because it was my fault and you're so cool, why don't you get a store bid? I'll pay cash. Keep the insurance out, spare us both the pain, if you agree." He shone. "Man, that works. I know a nice shop. I'll get the number." We shook. I felt stupid but lucky to hit someone reasonable. Or so I thought. Month 1, radio silence. I didn't stress. His failure to follow up was his fault. He was in control. Month 2, my phone rings at noon Tuesday. It's Brent. "Hi, brother. I forgot your name in the shop. I told them my friend sent me." His voice was casually friendly. I gave him my name, little awkwardly. "Awesome. They got me a contract because of you," he said. Nearly heard the store guys rolling their eyes. Body shop deals are mainly just prices. An hour later, a repair estimate photo text arrives, $2,403.27. My stomach flipped. That was expensive for a mirror and door skin, but what did I know? Maybe there was hidden damage. Promised to pay. I texted, "Okay, complete it and email me the final invoice. I'll handle it." Response, "Cool, thanks, man." Month 3, Brent rings my phone again on a rooftop in the scorching sun. "Hi, bro, talked to the shop. Backed up, another 2 weeks until I can get in. They stated that pulling it apart may reveal additional damage. Could cost more." Little alarm bell went off in my head. "Okay, let me know when they get it in." Well, he drew out. "After discussing with my wife, we can accept a check for $2,500 flat, just to simplify and call it even." Why would someone pick a check over a free guaranteed repair? Bell grew louder. "I just wanted it gone." "All right, we can. Please tell me when and where to meet." "I'll text you," he said, hanging up. More silence in month 4, starting to become mad. This low-grade stress hovers. My phone turns on at 11:07 p.m. on a Wednesday. "Brent, can we meet in town tonight? Walmart parking?" You kidding me? I had to arrive at 5 a.m. Totally disrespectful. My irration faded as I wanted to stop this. Fine, 11:30. That day, I drove to my bank's ATM and got $2,500. Next, I got smart. I prepared a simple contract on notebook paper at my kitchen table. It claimed that my name, was paying Brent, his last name, $2,500 in cash for all damages from the minor motor vehicle mishap at McDonald's on street on date. It stated that receiving the payment absolved me from all liability. 2 copies were made. Walmart lot lighting was bad. He was in his Accord, the scrape still blazing beneath the sodium vapor lights. I parked next to him. No brother greeting this time. He appeared anxious. He asked, "You got it?" I gave him the cash envelope. "You need to sign this," I replied, handing him the contract and a pen. "It just says this settles it." It was barely noticed. After signing, he tossed his copy at me and placed the envelope in his jacket. "Sure, no problem, thanks." He left in his automobile in under 60 seconds. Everything felt disgusting. I snapped a photo of the signed contract on my phone before heading home, fatigued. The last month, peace. Beautiful, ignorant peace. I did my part, I paid, it ended. Then I checked my mail. I received a formal letter from an unfamiliar law firm. My name was on it. I ripped it apart. A demand for payment letter. Brent sued me for $10,000. The letter said I caused major damage, refused to pay for repairs, and forced him to sue. I have 30 days to pay or be sued. The fury was swift and intense. He took my $2,500 and wanted more. Tried calling him, direct voicemail, blocked. Luckily, my girlfriend is a small firm paralegal. I called her ranting. She soothed me and connected me to her no-nonsense employer, Mark. I sent him the contract, photo, and text screenshots and explained him the whole scenario. Mark chuckled. "You just saved your butt, kid. Our state enforces contracts exceeding $500. He signed. The cash was taken. This is lovely. We'll enjoy this. But I wanted more than defense, wanted revenge. Brent's polo logo sprang to mind for Premier Home Services, heating and cooling. Search Google and visiting the BBB page was like opening a shady treasure chest. Premier Home Services scored F. 12 one-star reviews told the same story. Brent would give a lowball quote for a new furnace or AC unit, start the job, then claim unforeseen complications and triple the price, holding their broken heater hostage in winter. The BBB showed the firm in dispute every review. His entire business model was a fraud. The same ploy was being used on me. The $2,403 estimate, there might be more damage. Everything was geared up for the $10K shakedown. The lawyer was excited. We went to the county courthouse. Brent arrived with a slick-haired, worn-out lawyer. Brent chuckled as he examined my button-down shirt after a site meeting. "You ready to give me more of Daddy's money, kid?" he said as we passed. I grinned back. Cannot wait. His lawyer stood forward and told a fictional story. He called me a rich, reckless kid in a giant truck who hit his client and fled. Brent, his brave customer, barely managed to snap a picture of his license plate. He then claimed I had bullied his poor, honest client into accepting a lowball financial settlement when the damage was substantially greater. Next was our turn. Mark stood, late calm. "Your Honor, our story is different. Based on evidence, he recorded our exhibits. The friendly conversations, estimate, $2,500 offer, and meeting arrangement are in the text message chain. The original physical contract is the cherry on top. Mark sleeved it in plastic. He showed it to the judge and Brent's lawyer, whose face became blue. Your Honor, my client presented the plaintiff with $2,500 in cash at 11:30 at night in good faith. The plaintiff agreed to this document, which declares payment in full and release from any and all liability. Accepted the cash. The issue was resolved. The court examined Brent and the contract. "Is this your signature, Mr. Brent?" Brent shifted seats. "Yes, but then you'll need to explain why you're here," the judge said dryly. But Mark continued, "If I may, Your Honor, we think this action is part of a scam scheme. The BBB printout showed the same bait-and-switch pricing. The plaintiff used the same strategy, an initial estimate, a suggestion of increasing expenditures, a lump sum demand, and a lawsuit for an exponentially higher amount after the first payment. He commits fraud through the courts." Brent's lawyer appeared to want to disappear into the floor. The judge had hairline eyebrows. He gave Brent one last chance. "Do you have anything else, Mr. Brent?" Brent said, "Look, I don't even have that $2,500 anymore." A moment of sheer folly. It vanished. "Can I get that from him again to be fine?" Silence filled the courtroom. Lawyer held head in hands. The judge acted immediately. He ruled for me immediately. His prejudiced dismissal of Brent's case. After Mark requested it in our counterfiling, the judge gave me my legal fees and beautiful lost wages. Mark provided my pay stubs and letter from my company. That day, I was supposed to be supervising a delicate, high-priority finish job for a tech client who paid a massive premium for speed and secrecy. My billed rate as the foreman on that specific job was $475 per hour. The court proceeding, including travel and wait time, took just over 5 hours. The judge ordered Brent to pay me for that time. So let's do the math. He had to pay Mark's legal fees, about $1,500. He had to reimburse me for my lost wages, $475 times 5 equals $2,375, plus court costs, all because he tried to sue me for $10,000 after already swindling me for $2,500. The final tally meant he had to cut a check to me for nearly $5,000, on top of the $2,500 cash he'd already pocketed and spent. He was out over $7,500 total. His lawsuit was thrown out as frivolous, and his shady business practices were now a matter of public court record. I heard through the grapevine, aka my girlfriend's boss, doing some digging, that the combination of the BBB complaints and the court judgment showing fraud got his contractor's license reviewed. He lost a bunch of his premier clients. Last I heard, he'd sold the business and moved to another state, probably to try to grift on a fresh batch of suckers. As for me, I bought a dash cam the next day, and every time I pass that McDonald's, I smile a little. Sometimes the best tool on a job site isn't a hammer or a saw, it's a piece of notebook paper, a clear head, and a lawyer who loves it when a plan comes together. The real hero of this story is that stupid little handwritten contract. Without that, this could have turned into months of stress. Instead, Brent walked into court thinking he had leverage and walked out owing money. And our next story. HOA tried to ban my garage. Turns out they had no power and paid for towing instead. Retired Army here, 28 years. If I sound calm, it's because nothing short of artillery really gets my blood pressure up anymore. After retirement, I bought a small house. Quiet street, no gates, no guards, just neighbors who wave sometimes and mind their own business, which is all I've ever wanted. The garage became my happy place. I make custom furniture, one piece at a time, mostly for friends of friends. No sign, no traffic, no noise past dinner. The loudest thing is my old radio and sometimes my knees. For almost 2 years, nobody cared. Then Karen noticed. She lives 3 houses down, technically inside the HOA zone. My house is not. It used to be decades ago, but previous owners legally detached. Proper paperwork, county filings, recorded deed. Boring adult stuff. Karen doesn't like boring adult stuff. She likes clipboards. First interaction ever, she walks up my driveway while I'm gluing up a table. Are you aware commercial activity is prohibited in HOA garages? No hello, no how are you, just straight to enforcement mode. I told her calmly that my house isn't part of HOA. She laughed, actually laughed. That's not how that works. I said, that's exactly how that works. She pulled out a wrinkled document from the late 90s like she'd been waiting years for this moment. I told her to leave my property. She stood there another full minute like she expected backup music to start playing. Nothing did. That's when the letters started. Every letter had the same energy. Violation notice, final warning, urgent action required. One of them accused me of operating a manufacturing facility. Ma'am, I build coffee tables, not tanks. Then came the noise complaints. Funny thing, my immediate neighbor, old guy named Frank, later told me, Karen knocked on my door asking if I'd complain about you. I told her the only noise I hear is my TV. Frank brought beer the next day. Another neighbor texted me, HOA lady asked if your garage business lowers property values. I told her my property value went up when you fixed my porch. Karen did not like the neighbors. She escalated. One afternoon, she showed up with her husband, suit, fancy watch, the kind of man who looks uncomfortable standing on concrete that isn't valet validated. She introduced him like he was a court exhibit. My husband's a businessman. He nodded once, like royalty. I said, cool, I'm retired. She said they didn't want to make this difficult. I told them they were already doing great. That's when the lawsuit hit. HOA claimed jurisdiction, claimed violations, claimed fines, claimed authority. And then my personal favorite, They towed my truck. I came home, saw the empty driveway, and just stared at it. Then I laughed, because someone authorized a tow on land they didn't control using rules that didn't apply based on documents older than my combat boots. I Ubered to the tow yard, paid, kept the receipt, and asked the guy, "Who authorized this?" He shrugged. "HOA lady," real confident. Court day. Karen showed up dressed like she was attending a victory brunch. She kept whispering to her lawyer and nodding aggressively. HOA lawyer talked a lot, old documents, HOA bylaws, big confidence. My lawyer waited patiently, then slid updated county records across the table. Judge barely reacted. Karen interrupted him at least twice. Judge shut that down immediately. "Ma'am, if I need commentary, I'll ask for it." She did not speak again. Then the towing came up. Judge asked if HOA authorized it. "Yes," the lawyer said. Judge paused. "On land not governed by HOA?" Long pause. I handed over the towing receipt. Judge pinched the bridge of his nose like he was physically holding back a migraine. Ruling, HOA has no authority, case dismissed, HOA pays everything. Karen left the courtroom fast. Husband didn't make eye contact. Lawyer packed up like a man reevaluating his career. Update, because people keep asking. Yes, HOA paid. Yes, it covered everything. No, Karen never apologized. Yes, I upgraded my workshop. I also put up a small sign on the garage door. Private property, not part of HOA. Yes, I'm sure. HOA brought documents from 1998. Judge brought the calendar. If all homeowners associations prepared for court like this, the world would be a slightly better place. Hey guys, thank you all for watching the video. I'll see you in the next one.